Um, this is the first meeting of the Crooked River Amateur Radio Club. I got to get myself out of that habit.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, stuff happens. So do
Exactly.
I. But as far as the officers that I've suggested, what are we all good with that? Did anybody else want to take a shot at it or become part of a secretary team?
Well, Pat, I'll help out in any way I can. I mean, I was treasurer of Park for many years, and if Mike needs help or if the secretary needs help, I'd be willing to do that.
That would be fine, Ron. I appreciate that. The way this is probably going to turn out in the beginning is we'll put a word out. I need help with this. I need help with that. How are you, as far as Mike, or how are you at graphic designs? Do you do much of it?
I am not a graphic designer.
No, me neither.
I wanted to make sure.
I can do UX design, but that's a completely different beast than graphic design. But luckily, I mean, you got sites like Fiverr and things like that hang out that you can get assets made very inexpensively.
What do you need?
Well, I'm going to need graphic stuff for for both the sites that we've got. Actually, it's just one site that because the other things are going to be parked on it.
I mean, we can find stock photos and stuff like that, but there's some stuff I can do, but
if I'm actually a 3D designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about
I build simulations, so
how about the three of us?
We got one.
How about the three of us, Mike, you and I? I'll get you guys access to the website. The website is actually it's in WordPress, but I'm using a thing called Oxygen as the actual formatter, and that it's not that hard to get into. Why don't the three of us kind of form a committee?
I just posted my website. I designed it. If you like it and you want me to do it, I can help.
You're a rail fan, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so is Elmer up there in the corner.
Hi, Elmer.
Hey.
All right, Mike. Why don't the three of us, Jason, me, Mike. Why don't the three of us form a little committee here, and we'll get the websites going.
Okay.
Sound good to you? Sounds good to me. And
works good for me. If Mike's okay with it, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Voice, that's done. That's done. That's done.
Hey, Pat.
Yes, sir.
Hey, on bringing up the rail fan thing, there's a lot of rail fans that are hams that don't belong to clubs too. I could tell you countless times when I've been trackside running into rail fans that are amateur radio operators. Some of them have license plates. Sometimes you just see the antenna on the car and strike up a conversation.
That's how I became a ham.
Right. So, that may be a good avenue for the club too to, pursue. And it's something that me and Jason both are familiar with.
Would you guys mind doing a little research and seeing what you can get as far as memberships?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Take and put news. If you want to do just like a newsletter or a blurb or something like that. Let's get back to this officer thing because I want to get it nailed down. Is everybody okay with the suggestions we've had so far?
Yep, good.
Yeah.
Okay, then the four officers are going to be Missy Baker, myself, Elmer's going to be my vice, and Ron's going to be, Mike Lewum is going to be the treasurer. And in fact, Ron, if you and Ron want to work together on this, Mike, you got.
Oh yeah.
You're okay with me.
Okay.
All right. The next thing I want to cover is with elections and bylaws and stuff like that. I have a couple of ideas for the elections. Instead of doing every year, why don't we, I want to, let's take suggestions first as far as doing the, officer elections. How about every 2 years? What do you guys think about that?
I agree.
I don't see an issue with it. I mean, I only have experience with one other club, and that was unless somebody didn't want to run, almost everyone was unopposed every
Right.
year. So having an election every 2 years, I think that's fine.
If we did that, the reason that I'm suggesting that is if you're in office 1 year and, and you just decide you don't want to do it anymore, that's one thing. But anybody that's actually active is, you know, and doing what they're supposed to do is just getting started by that. And once you get started, then it's another story if you want to back out after a couple of years. Well, I think that'd probably be the best idea. Any other opinions on that, Kenny? Okay, no idea. Any ideas or any comments about that?
None whatsoever.
The one that's been with Aries for 35 years.
Yeah.
Oh, classic. But all right, we've already got stuff going on the webpage and Facebook. Anybody want to be a moderator on Facebook for one of the groups?
Sure, I'll do it. Pat, it's me.
Ron? Okay.
Yeah.
Help out too, Pat, Chris.
Chris too?
Yeah.
How can you?
Hey, Pat, going back to the officer and, the 2-year limitation or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think about term limitations? Like what the Portage County Club does. Doesn't mean that you can't be president again. Just means so you said 2 years. So the longest you can go is 2 years, and then somebody else takes your place. And then if you want to run again, you can run again, but you can flip flop. You can become treasurer, you can become vice president, but that seems to work with the Portage County group.
I think that might be a pretty good idea. That would force a change if we did that at like term limitations of 4 years.
Well, you don't want to say limitations because that means you can't do it again. But
Yeah.
you want to, if you said, like we just talked about 2 years, you can go back again after 2 years. You can go back to the president or vice president, whatever position you held.
More like a rotation.
Yeah, kind of so. Yeah, exactly.
How would that be listed then? Would it be listed as far as term limits or? This is,
Yeah, I guess it would be. I mean, you can only serve 2 consecutive years, and then you can go back, after 2 years, or whatever. I guess we decided that 2 years would be so the next election would be, are we going to round up and be 25? This is 23, so 25, or are we going to do 24? Or what, how are we going to do that?
I like the idea of a 4-year limit. That would force a change.
Right. And it doesn't mean I don't want to say you can't do it again. It just means you can only be president for 4 years or 2 years or whatever we decide. And then if, the vice president, just for easy math, if the vice president and president want to flip flop, you can do that.
That would be a
Yeah.
good idea.
So you could basically you say it's each term is 2 years and you can only serve 2 consecutive terms at one time.
Correct. It
And then
doesn't mean
after
you
that-
it doesn't mean you cannot do it again. It
Right.
just means you can only go 4 years maximum in one position. Like if you were the secretary, you could go to the vice president for 4 years and then go back to secretary for 4 years,
Right.
or president, or whatever you want to do.
I like the idea of that.
It
I
seems
like
to
that
work for
because
it seems to work for the Portage County Club only because you just don't want to become stale, you know?
That stuff that's gonna need to be written into the bylaws.
and everything
Right.
I've always heard about Portage County is the fact that they run so successful that the club pretty much runs itself from everything I've always understood.
That is, well, you know, I am a member there, and I would say a charter member, and it seems as though that was a great idea that they came up with. No offense to you, Pat, or however long, you know, I mean, look how long I was treasurer at CFARC, you know, it just, only because nobody else wanted to do it is why I did it.
I was there
And then-
8 years,
Right, yeah.
well,
And
under
when
the
I moved
same
to Streetsboro-
circumstances.
Right, yeah, so I mean, it's just, it forces us to have, you know, people with a new opinion, you know?
Mhm.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't, I guess I don't want to say I want to limit that, because if nobody else wants to do it, then you would stay, whoever would stay in that position. I don't know. It seems as though it works for Portage County. I don't know.
I think
I
something
like
like
the
that.
idea of that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say something like that sounds like it helps eliminate the eventual formation of the
Clicks.
old guard that everything runs in every problem. Most clubs, even
Right.
outside of amateur radio, will run into the same people with the same opinions and the same
Right.
agenda keep going for ever in perpetuity. And when instead you have fresh ideas and fresh minds and new people, it helps advance things.
Mike, that's exactly why they came up with that idea. You know, so whatever. Man, just throwing it out.
The main thing that I'm concerned of, I'm 68 years old right now. And who knows, God could take me tomorrow, but I want this thing, whatever we create here, I want it to run. It'd be nice if it ran by itself. If you did the elections and whatever,
Right.
and stayed away from the politics. I am so against this political bullshit that goes on in these clubs that you couldn't believe it. I dealt with that for more than 8 years, just about 8 years. And I'm sick of it. I don't want it. That's not what we're here for. We're here to provide stuff for the community. We're here to advance the hobby. And that's what we should be doing. This political
Pat,
crap's for the birds. Sir.
Pat, while I'm thinking about it, I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt. But since we are in the beginning stages of this, we should probably look at becoming 501c3 right out of the gate.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard Pat was doing this, that was my first thought was like, you got to go 501c3 out of the gate.
Right.
As soon as the first paperwork that files.
It seems to be,
expenses in bank accounts and stuff like that, because you're not a profit-making business.
Right.
Right.
I
didn't catch all that, Chris. What?
That will help with like bank accounts and things like that. When you're a nonprofit, they'll waive fees for checking accounts and things like that. Versus if you go in as Crooked River Radio Club, you are an entity, a business. You're not gonna get a free checking account, as it were.
Right.
And you need a checking account because you're gonna have bills that need to be paid.
Exactly. Mike, can you work on the 501c3, and Chris, would you want in on that too?
Pat, I'll help out with that. I mean, I have a friend that's
I didn't mean to leave you out, Ron.
No, that's fine.
I'm
That's fine.
not
Well,
the person for that.
there's a difference between nonprofit and not for profit.
Right. And I
So
will say, after we finally got the 501c3, that was the easiest tax return I ever did in my life.
right, exactly right. Yeah. So
Now, while this is in these stages, can I still go get a bank account? Or can we still go get the bank account?
well, I mean, I think I think we should hold off on it until we have pretty much all our ducks in a row, maybe.
Yep, you don't
Yeah.
want to take any monies in until you are already established.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you take anything in prior to that, I believe that it could be excluded as, it just
income.
creates a problem, I think.
Yeah.
Does. There's a certain way to
agree.
retroactive.
Pat, maybe we should hold off on taking any dues until maybe
Well,
January 1st.
That might
And then-
not be a bad idea. What do you guys think? Are we gonna need anything before then?
Biggest thing we're gonna need is any money to file the paperwork.
And yeah,
But we'll find a way to handle that.
What
Right.
as far as the other two things, what about an LLC? Should we sign up for that too?
I
or-
would do I would incorporate as a nonprofit. First incorporate as a nonprofit. We're going to need an EIN from the IRS.
Right.
Incorporate as a nonprofit, and as soon as the incorporation documents are all filed and set up, then we can file the 501c3. Probably should have a mailbox before those documents get set up as well.
And do we need an actual physical address, or is the PO box okay with that?
The other club used post office box
Yeah,
from the
Yeah.
very beginning.
but I don't know if that's legit or not. I have a friend of mine that is running for finance director / tax executor for the city of Brook Park, and I can ask him. And if you guys are okay with that, if I can have him look into it and pay any whatever it is that has to be done. I don't know. I just a thought, maybe that way if we're in the high speed lane trying to get this all fixed and done by, say, I'm just picking a date, January 1st. That way,
Yeah,
know.
I would think if we can get it done before we could, but I think
Yeah.
the target date should be the first.
I mean,
yeah,
getting the paperwork. I mean, getting the mailbox or getting an address, even if it's a temporary registered agent, you can change that after the fact with an address. And I mean, I've created LLCs before, and it's literally you fill out paperwork online, you submit the form, and within maybe 2-3 weeks, you'll get the document in the mail. The EIN number, the federal tax ID, is an online
Right.
form that you pretty much can get almost instantly. So they've automated a lot of this so that we could get things moving quickly. The 501c3, I can't remember how long that took,
4
I
weeks.
think
but yeah,
takes
I
a
think you're
while.
right.
it takes a while, to be honest with you.
I have an LLC that I could give or sell to you guys, Pat. We can work on that if you want it.
Would you
that
guys be
you-
interested in that?
I missed part of that. What are interested in what?
Eric actually has an LLC that he'd be willing to transfer to us for a small fee or whatever.
I don't know how that works, or if we should just create our own.
I would
think
just
we
just
should
create the
create one.
incorporation.
Okay, then Ron and Mike, you want to both work on the 501c3 and the IN?
Yeah,
Incorporation.
I'll start putting together some of this stuff that we need, and I'll run it by you, the list, before I fill out anything. I'll
Okay.
run it by the two of you.
Okay. But I think before we do anything, we just ought to do it right out of the gate.
Right.
Like I said before, just, I mean, when I was treasurer of CFARC, I had meetings with Bob McFadden and the guy from P-Cars who they were LLC. I'm sorry, 501c3 right out of the gate. And I think it would just be easier if we did it right out of the gate. So
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
it's a little extra pain in the ass for the treasurer and the president, but
Ron, at this point, I'll do whatever the hell I got to do.
It's
yeah,
worth it.
I mean, it's
I want
just
this to fly.
It's just easier for people to give donations because if you hit your 501c3 and you're not, and I can tell you, P-Cars ran into that before you, Mike, obviously. But I mean, I think it's just would be easier.
Okay. Should I go ahead and buy a PO box?
Yeah, why not? That way we have a mailing address.
All right. I think Talmadge is probably the quickest place for me to pick stuff up at. So why don't we just use Talmadge as our location?
Was that where you live, or?
I actually live in Ellet, but I'm about 200 feet from the Talmadge border.
Okay.
You know where the gas company is over here?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about a minute from there.
All right. Is everybody else within that radius, or I mean, are you? I would hate for you to be the only one that can not get the email. I'm sorry, get the snail mail, but.
Well, we could do that. We could do Cuyahoga Falls
or Stowe, maybe.
But Stowe's a little bit out of the way for me.
Yeah,
that's about a half-hour drive.
Talmadge seems all right to me. I think because it's close enough to the square. It's not that. I don't think it's that far. I think the Falls is a bit out of the way.
44221 might not be.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. I mean, if we're trying to base our club in that area, our mailing address should be similar to it. I think. I don't know. I mean, I'm the furthest out, guys. I'm in Portage County. I'm a stone's throw away from Summit, but I'm in Streetsboro, so.
I'm almost in the Medina County.
Yeah, so.
All right, I think the Talmadge idea would probably be the easiest. I'll make sure I get a couple of keys and we can figure that out later, whoever's closest.
Yeah.
I was also thinking if you kept it out of Cuyahoga Falls, it's also not going to conflict with anybody's thoughts.
My thoughts exactly.
That's true. That's true.
When they see CR on there, they're gonna say Cuyahoga.
Right.
And it's not that way.
Pat, are we coming up with a radio call sign too?
What I'm thinking about, Ron, is we're just going to use K8SCS. That's actually a club call.
Okay.
But I got it years ago for Skywarn, and that's pretty much all it's been used for.
Are you getting any flack from pulling away from 27 or anything, or?
Kenny, can I tell the story?
Be my guest, Pat.
Or do you want to tell it?
No, you tell it much better.
Kenny got a phone call the other day saying that I abandoned amateur radio and Seafire and the Skywarn was up for grabs.
Oh, okay.
So no flack.
Okay.
I asked him who told him that, but I think I already know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to slander nobody.
No, because you don't know for sure, but I probably have an idea too.
You made notifications to the appropriate individuals that it's still well under in good hands, correct?
I put something out on the Facebook group that there's over 1,000 members in that thing. So the word has to be out that I was not giving up on it, that it had been brought to my attention that there was somebody trying to tell our Summit County Aries director that I wanted out, or I had abandoned it. And of course, my first thing my Aries director does is gives me a call on the phone and says, "Hey, what the hell's going on?"
Right, right.
Need to do with the
First
weather
time I
service.
heard from him in
Yeah.
about a year.
What's the weather service? Are they aware of everything going on?
Not so far. I haven't really called up there to talk to him yet. I wanted the dust to clear first. And I want to make sure that we got the 6.4 is an older machine, and I want to probably talk on it a little bit first. And then we'll take and put our nets up there.
Pat, is JOY still gonna let you be,
Yes, sir.
use-
In
Okay.
fact, I was supposed to get a call from Jason Stroll this evening sometime,
okay,
and I've already filled Mike in on it, Mike Young. So
All right.
that part of it's progressing. I just got to get that together.
okay.
But I think that's a good idea.
No, that's
Hey.
a perfect idea. It's got a better footprint.
And it'll give us access up into the northern part of the county that nobody
Yeah.
seems to have.
Right, right.
Anyway, let's continue with this list I got, and then we'll take
Real quick,
ideas.
Pat,
Sir,
Pat.
Yes, sir.
Also, on the money situation, I don't know if you're aware of this, but earlier this year, the ARRL received a very large grant that was supposed to be doled out to clubs, and they were looking for clubs to give money to, especially in clubs that were newly forming. So you may want to look into that, see if they have money available that they would just dish out for you.
I thought that expired.
The early one did. They had a spring, they had something in the spring, but they said they were going to bring it back in the fall. So you might want to just check into that too.
That's the ARRL.
Correct. Yeah, they had their like round one that was in the spring, but they said they were going to have additional funds for the later this fall, and they were going to do the same thing again. So
I'll look into that.
okay.
Pat, have you reached out? Pat, have you reached out to Marty at all?
I haven't heard from Marty in 3 years.
Well, I know that he had also had some issues with CFARC, and maybe because I know he was a staple with Skywarn. So
Yeah, he was more or less my vice president here.
yeah, so maybe you ought to see if you can reach out to him. I know that he lived right down the street from me here in the Hudson. So
He's evidently still into it, because that was one of the things Ken and I covered. I hadn't heard from him in 3 years, and he was wanting into one of the groups up there in the NWS, and it came down through the channels.
Yeah.
But he used to work up there in Hudson. I don't know if he's still there or not anymore.
I have not seen him driving around lately. I mean, I'm in Streetsboro, but I'm 100 feet from the Hudson border. So, and I saw him a few times. So maybe you might want to reach out, see if he is interested in helping as well.
I'll reach out to him, but he's not on Facebook anymore. He dropped off.
He's not.
And every once in a while I see his sister on there. She's not said anything recently.
No.
One of the other things I want to cover tonight, the ARRL affiliation. Should we wait for the 501c3 for that, or do we just go ahead and get the affiliation done?
No, I would. Do they care that we're a 501c3? Does that matter?
I don't think I saw it on any of the notes. No.
No, I don't remember that being a problem with CFARC.
All right.
So
now that we've got, go ahead.
Reach out to them right away. I mean, or as soon as we get some type of a, you know, permanent structure, I guess, as far as a club, I
I
would
think
reach
we
out.
pretty much got what they want now. I've
Then
got,
reach out. I would say reach out then.
I
Does
think
everybody else agree, or?
what they want, what they were concerned about. They gave you, they want your officer board in place. They want they want the signature, of your president, I think it was a vice. I think it needed 2 signatures. I'll let whoever know once I go to fill that part out. As far as the affiliation goes, I'm gonna try to get that started sometime this week now. I think
Is there
that's
a-
a good.
Is
What's
there a
that?
benefit to be, is there a benefit for ARRL affiliation?
I think so. I think what that's gonna do is open you up to being able to use, ARRL resources and and get your, that they have new club affiliations listed on there.
Yeah,
So it'd probably be a good idea.
well, I guess I would reach out as soon as possible. I don't, just my opinion. I don't know what anybody
Yeah.
else thinks, but that's
I-
my opinion.
I've already got the paperwork, so we'll get that started. The other thing that I don't want to do them right this minute, but we may want to consider doing alternating net controls on like a Thursday night and actually do a net on 6-4. What do you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have to have a net, or at least that's how you get yourself out there, right? That's how you get the club out there, right?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
So,
What do you
Yeah.
think about what day do you think would be the best?
well,
I'm I'm thinking Wednesday or Thursday night, to be honest. Anybody else?
what day is Sea Park?
Monday. But their meetings are on Wednesday nights.
Right,
Isn't
so,
PCAR's net on Thursdays?
yes. Yes, they are.
I don't want to interrupt them.
No, because they're a big fish. So,
Tuesday?
Kenny,
Yeah, I
when are your nets on what is it, 550?
Yeah, we have, well, the digital net starts at 7 to 7:30, and then we have a phone net from 7:30 to 8.
On what day? Wednesday?
Sorry, Monday, on Mondays.
Monday.
Yep.
What's everybody think of Wednesday? And we'll do our, of course, if we do it on Wednesday, we can't have meetings on Wednesday.
right.
And I think I'd rather have the meetings, especially Zoom wise, on Wednesday evenings. We could do Thursday, Friday, or Sunday.
I think, Pat, honestly, I was thinking weekend, but I don't know how that works. I mean, Sunday seems to be less intrusive.
Sunday at what time then? 7?
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. I mean, 7 seems to be the going rate.
well, Sunday's going to interrupt one of my podcasts.
Okay.
What about Tuesday?
Tuesday's SARAnet? What do you guys think
Yeah,
about
yes, Sarah net's on Tuesday evening, but I mean,
what?
Well, I mean, we can always have it start on one night. I don't know, just a thought. Have it start on one night and then change it to another one so it doesn't conflict. But we got to get ourselves out there.
What are
So
the times on SARA? Any idea?
Sarah's net is, I believe it starts at 8. I think they do Newsline from 7:30 to 8, and then the net starts at 8.
Pat, if we have to adjust my podcast time, I'm
Can we put-
open.
Can we put you on a date? Would that be better? That'd give you more prime time anyway. And I could just
yeah.
and I could just come out of the nets and do that.
Okay.
The nights that I got to do that anyway.
Or if we have to alter and not do a show. 'Cause of
I don't
this-
want Eric. I don't want to cut that off. There's too. You got too much of a following there to do that very often.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to help
I think if we
yeah.
moved you to 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock would be better. Because
Okay.
that's more prime time anyway.
We can start that. I didn't talk to you about this. We're gonna have to do next week's show at 8 anyway because of my guest. But anyway, that's not what this is about. So I'll back up and let the topic about the club.
All right, we'll move you to. Just figure on moving to 8 o'clock. You guys okay
Oh.
with Tuesday at 7?
Yep.
Works for
Okay,
me.
let's. We can do an. What's that?
I said it works for me.
Okay, we can do the nets on 6/4 from 7 at 7 o'clock.
I won't be able to join Pat because that's AWR or the Aries Ohio HF net. It starts at 7, and then the digital net starts at 7:45. So I'm stuck with those.
Well, we can't, Pat, we really can't conflict with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that moves us back to Thursday again. I don't know if very many nets are on Thursday. I know Elmer, you did the rail net on Thursday, didn't you?
I thought that was Friday.
I did that, and when I moved it to Friday, it seemed to pick up, mainly because of the PCARS net. And then I had moved it to, I think it was Saturday morning, and it picked up too because after the barometer net on Saturday morning, there's not a whole lot of nets in the area that's really going on.
And
Yeah.
P-Cars, didn't we say P-Cars was Thursday, right?
Yes.
So unless we
PCARS is Thursday at what time?
I want to say 8 o'clock, but I don't know if that's right.
Anybody know?
I'm looking up their website right now.
I want to say
If they were like at 8, we could start at 7. Ah, crap! No, we can't either because I got my Sunday night shows there.
What about is 6 o'clock too early?
What do you guys think? 6?
Their nets start at 8, by the way, PCARS.
Yeah, I
And
thought
then
it was 8.
8 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
That's P-Cars, Pat. So if we do 7 o'clock on Thursday or 6 o'clock, oh no, we can't do 7. 6 o'clock on Thursday?
6 o'clock would probably work. We'd have to. I think what we want to do is try it first. See how much we get as far as if anybody at all checks in or anybody new.
Nothing really has to be set in stone, right?
Yeah, nothing has to be set in
Right.
stone. If nothing else, we could move it to
Sunday,
Sunday evening.
right?
But as far as my being net control, it would be sporadic at best because I got my biggest show of the podcasting, which is amateur related anyway, is I start from 7 to 9.
Well, then that's not going to work.
But if I had to,
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think how I could reschedule that.
Just run the net during your podcast, Pat.
Dude, that would
Oh.
actually be kind of cool. If, like, the first
I'm gonna
half
tell you-
hour-
I'm going to tell you the truth. I'd actually thought about putting this meeting on there. It's
Yeah.
so easy. All I got to do is start 2 pieces of software, and I'm broadcasting all over Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and then pretty much everywhere else, everywhere you'd believe. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Callum from DX Commander does his Friday morning or it's afternoon there, his live thing where he just gets on and he like streams that on YouTube.
I
And he's,
love
like,
that guy.
making contacts all over the world.
I love that guy. He is such a he's such a cyber guy. But I use a lot of his stuff on my Thursday night shows. So what about Friday night? Is there
7
very
o'clock.
is there
7 on-
very Yeah, I'm free on Fridays. So we can make it
And-
about any time.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
like I mentioned before, when I moved the RailNet from Thursday to Friday nights, we probably picked up about 15 to 20 extra additional, ham radio operators, just because there's not very many nets that are actually used, on Friday nights.
What
Well,
time is your net?
I was at 7, but I had stopped running it mainly because my shack is still pretty much in boxes.
Okay.
Well, you need to fix that net control.
Well, hopefully this summer we can. I got the Jeep rebuild going on right now, so.
You need to get at least so you're able to run a net.
So is Friday at 7 a conflict?
I don't see that. Anybody else have any comments about it? I think 7 o'clock Friday would work.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Especially-
I didn't have a call.
especially
7
if we-
o'clock Fridays for what?
7 o'clock Friday evening for the net.
Okay.
And what we do,
Honestly, Pat, I don't know of any nets on Friday at 7.
I
other
can't think of any either.
John just posted in the chat that he can't do Friday night nets.
Yeah, Friday nights during the summer are bad for me. I'm floating on Lake Erie a lot of times.
What is your definition of summer though? Does that end in September or?
When the boat comes out, so October.
So May, June, July. Yeah, that's not going to work.
But that doesn't mean I can't be, it's every Friday or whatever, and I'm just one.
Well, if we got 4, the way Seafart, I said that word again. The way that other club did it is they rotated 4 people. There was me on the first month. Rizulis was the second week. Thomas was the third, and then Frank was the fourth one. And then when there's 5 weeks, one of the 4 usually picked it up.
Yeah.
So as
What about
far as
Saturday mornings? Or is there way too many nets on Saturday morning? I know the barometer net's at 7.
I don't know. As far as the barometer net, that runs from 7 to 9.
I don't know. That thing runs forever, I think.
And I have a podcast on Saturday mornings at 11.
Gotcha.
So I would I would still like the idea of Friday night, to be honest. I think we should try that if you guys are into it.
For now, at least, Pat. Yes, I agree.
All right, let's do that. Who wants to be first? Man, I'll tell you what. I'll take and draw I've got a loose script over here. I can take and draw up, and I'll do the first net. When do we want to do that? This Friday?
I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, technically, when we become a club, I don't know. That's just my thought.
I agree. You get ducks in a row first.
All
Because
right.
once you start doing a net, people are going, oh, I'm interested. I'll join. Oh, yeah, dues. Yeah, okay, yes, dues. This is how you can pay your dues. You can send a check or you can sign on PayPal, and we need to be able to accept them monies and et cetera. So I think be careful jumping the gun too quick. organize this so that
I agree, Chris.
it's not a cluster, you know? You don't
Right.
want Sea Park going, oh yeah, he's opening his own, I was listening, it's such a cluster, blah, blah, you know, you want it to be professional and you want them to go, oh yeah, this is an organization that I could get behind.
We really are a club. I mean,
I have to
That's-
admit, Chris is right. That's exactly what will happen.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be certain people that are going to be waiting and watching to see what happens.
yes.
Just so they
I agree.
can
I
do what they
agree with
do.
you.
I want
Right.
to see professionalism out the wazoo
Right.
with anything we do.
And no
Well,
much.
they're gonna question anything. You gotta make sure it's all in it. Oh, they don't even have they're not an LLC or whatever. They're not incorporated. They're accepting money. You know, Pat's probably putting it in his pocket. You want all of them T's crossed and the I's dotted.
That's why I want a treasurer, Chris.
And Mike, that's why I'm willing to help you out. That way we can just really keep track of.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Ron, I think you're the one that pretty much set all the standards.
Yeah, me and Bob McFadden. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
you
guys
never-
set all the standards that everybody was supposed to follow.
The whole
Right.
9 years I was there, I never heard credit for you, and I apologize for that.
Well, that's all right.
If
No,
I
that's
would have
all right.
known, you would have gotten.
I will just tell you that when I took I should say when Bob took presidency and I took treasurer, we had $250 in the bank. And that was it.
At 11,000 when I left,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So right.
and
So
about half of that was LLC
yeah, well we were
We
not
had 4.
or the
Oh, the
501c3.
501c3. Yeah.
Yeah, about
we were
half
not-
of that was that.
Nobody really wanted to take on that task when I was treasurer, and then unfortunately I moved to Streetsboro, so it really wasn't, you know, I just couldn't get to the meetings like I could before. So
Oh, look! Everybody, open your chat. Look at what Jason just created. That's
I
cool.
like that.
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to.
I can adjust it however you want. That was just me piddling around in Photoshop.
That's nice.
Do me a favor and send me that.
It's on the Facebook page already, the full size one.
Oh,
the group.
wow,
okay, cool.
I like it.
And I can
Yeah.
do the Facebook headers specifically and whatever else we need,
Well,
websites.
Yeah.
I'll take and get you hooked up into the Crooked River amateur or let's just call it KSCS. That's easier. I'll put you on as far as an admin in there. If
On
you,
what? Facebook.
I'm glad
mean?
you guys like it though.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that is cool.
that's cool.
I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah, the simplicity of it. The font is not static, and
The irony of that is the font's actually called Crooked River.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
and it's not a bright, ugly yellow either.
Well, I thought too, it would be a generic logo that like if we ever did shirts or hats or whatever, God knows graphics, you want something simple on it that the printers don't have a hard time.
Yeah,
It's funny you say
Always
shirts
always
because that's been
better
running
too.
through my mind all day.
I'd like to do I've wanted to do shirts for 4 years now.
Hey,
And-
Pat.
Sir,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. Whoever that
So-
was.
That was Ron. It was me.
Okay.
Just I know that you're looking at calling it K8SCS, but that seems to be devoted to Summit County Skywarn. I think we should come up with our own.
Well, the
Also-
thing of it is, we're going to be incorporating into Summit County Skywarn's pretty much going to become part of Crooked River.
Okay.
Was my thought on that. Do you
Always
think
keep it as
different?
two separate entities.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's two separate entities.
Well, then I'll have to
Their own
apply for another.
identification.
We'll have to
Well,
apply for another club call then.
Who just
Well, that's difficult.
Is it?
No,
No? Okay. I just, Pat, I mean, the graphics for this looks great, but I think that K8 SCS is just devoted to Summit County Skywarn. So I don't know. It's just my thought.
Well, whatever you guys think, I'm willing, I'm willing to go do whatever you guys want.
Maybe try to get a vanity call with CR in it somewhere.
We've owned that call sign for going on 2 terms now, so it's been 20 years, and
Yeah.
people are used to hearing it.
Yeah,
just,
it might cause a lot of confusion if somebody sees that logo with that call sign, this logo with that call sign, they might be going, wait, what happened to Skywarn?
Yeah. Just a thought. I don't know.
Well, we
Just
can also incorporate the Skywarn into that logo.
Right now. Let's go.
K8 CFU.
Oh, that would be great.
How about just Pat?
What's
How
that?
about
Jim
just
said my device was finally operational. I immediately wanted to launch a rocket up through the triangle while he scanned the anomalous zone.
Somebody's listening to secrets of the.
My hope was that we could stimulate whatever man
He's
crashed
been
all of our
mute or not.
systems
I'm gonna have to
to
mute
appear in
him.
the LiDAR.
Hey,
So
Steve.
then we can determine what
Sorry. Sorry, Pat. I'll mute.
I know you like secrets of the
Launch in 5,
Skinwalker.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, I was just thinking K8SC, but that would be a 1x2, and that would indicate a amateur, extra call sign. So that probably wouldn't work.
yeah. All right. As
I don't
far
know.
as
I just think I'm just going to throw it out there one last time that Summit County Skywarn and the club, just like CFARC. I'm sorry, I swore on the radio. It's just
it's all right, Ron. We're all friends.
just like that other club and Skywarn were separate entities. I think we
I
should
think
probably.
now that you said all that, I agree with you. I think it needs to stay separated. But we can look up
I don't know. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's just my thought.
I thought about getting another club call. But then again, if we just somewhere on the web page say that we're affiliated with or we support Summit County Skywarn, I think that might be enough. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
No, Dad, they're 2 separate entities. They need to
Okay.
stay separate. We can say we're affiliated, but we cannot use that call.
Thank you, Missy. I agree.
The
Which
club can sponsor Skywarn in
Clean as
terms of
spoken.
things like that, but yeah, keep them separate.
Well, let's get the 501c3 through before we start worrying
Exactly.
about something like that.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna put that we tabled that item.
Do we need a motion to table that? Is this a Robert's Rule meeting?
No, we're not.
Okay, all right.
We're doing Pat's rules. We're not doing
Okay.
Roberts.
Okay, all right.
All right, the next thing I gotta.
Wait, back up. When you get to the point that we're actually serious, though, we actually need to use Robert's rules with
Yeah, are we,
motions,
Oh, I
tabling,
agree with that too.
et cetera, because you're gonna have to have, yes, absolutely. There has to be organization, to chaos.
right, exactly right.
Steve, you're muted if you want to unmute that you've killed secrets of the
Skinwalker.
Skinwalker Ranch. You're not the only one that watches it.
my wife and I are both kind of into it.
We'll have to talk about this. Have you seen the last couple episodes?
Yeah, they're something else.
There is something in there.
Yeah, I know. It kind of makes you really wonder what's going on, doesn't it?
There was a question on the chat, Pat, that asks, where is this new repeater? And then John said, I don't know, hoping to find out, but no one is discussing those details. So you might
Okay,
want
it's
to clarify that you're
the-
talking
the
about
new-
using the 6.4.
it's not a new repeater, it's an older one.
Well,
That's-
I asked it, and the reason was is because I only have a portable, and I need to make sure if I need to buy gear,
It's
and then I have to
actually
go and ask permission.
it's
What is
actually
it?
in Bulger Hall down in Akron. It's an
Oh,
Akron
it's
U.
Akron News.
That is Bulger Hall, isn't it, Kenny?
Think I can hit it
Um,
from Stowe?
I don't know if they moved that or
Yeah.
not. They moved a lot of that equipment off Bulger, but that I don't know.
The last I heard from Mike, it's been a couple some months back, is that the main site is on Bulger, and then
Okay.
the secondary receive is still out there on Ferris's tower.
Right.
Pat, will 5 watts hit it from Stowe?
You can try. The nice thing about when we go into an active net, you're gonna actually have 5 or 6 inputs to this by the time I'm done. I'm
Is
talking,
2.7
I'm
is
talking,
2.7 one of those?
huh?
Is
Is
2.7 going to be? Is 2.7 going to continue to be one of those inputs?
Nope,
Oh boy. Okay.
at least not at the moment,
Okay.
unless I change my mind. The thing with it is, it's gonna be 6.4 is gonna be the main. I've talked to Marty Baker, and he's good with us running on 135 as a secondary.
Yeah.
But and
And
then
JOY's got such a great footprint that I would think that we
Well,
should look at him.
JLY is gonna get tied into Jason's system, so it will be there for the footprint.
Okay.
You know, I've done a lot of thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, and this seems like the way to go. It's
Yeah.
gonna be better than what we currently have.
Right.
And you should, if there's traffic up in West Richfield, you'll be able to hear it.
I mean, I can hit JOY with my HT from Streetsboro.
That should be good. You should be good to go there then.
Right.
Perfect.
I really want to make this as simple as we can make it. And, you know, there's not going to be any more infighting. There's not going to be any more one person does it all. You know, I think the thing I'm asking you guys right now is for your help.
Hey, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. I apologize.
Go ahead.
Just-
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I know you talked about your 4 positions, vice president, president, treasurer, and secretary. What about your trustees?
I was thinking about that too.
I was thinking we need one to start with.
I'd
I'd
be
like
willing
to,
to.
I'd
be
like to
willing
see it go to 3.
Well, you do need 3. You need a 3, a 2, and a 1. I mean, I'd be willing to do one of those. Just somebody that, you know, that audits, you know, one of the trustees audits the books, basically.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd be willing to do that for the time being until I retire. Then I can do whatever you need.
All right.
is-
You've
which
just been nominated as trustee. Everybody on board with that?
I'm all for it because I was
Okay,
thinking it like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
I'm for
Yeah.
it. All right.
All
Well,
right.
you're elected trustee.
Okay. Cool. Thank
Second
you.
motion.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations or my condolences, one of the two.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
All right. The
You're
next
a
thing
hell of a
on my agenda is we're going to need a place maybe once a month to meet when we start our club meetings up. The 2 ideas that I have here, I absolutely hate doing sit down, face-to-face business meetings. I'm done. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really want to get into that. If we can do them on Zoom, we can invite out anybody as far as a club in to the Zoom meeting. If they want to listen to the business that's going on as the officers work and all that, I got no problem with that. But as far as these face-to-face business meetings were good up until COVID, and after that, they ain't worth a crap.
Right.
That's
I'm
my
100% for. I'm 100% for it because it's easier because I mean I got to be at work at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, so we're already at 8:30 and we started at 7. So by
God,
the
where
time
did the time go?
Yeah.
I know
Time
I know.
always flies, Pat. No matter whenever we're on Zoom, time always flies.
Right. So, and the fact of the matter is that you can record the meetings, whoever is,
Yes.
yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. It's easier.
Okay, then
And-
I think if everybody's in agreement with that, that's the way we'll go. Any objections,
I like
anybody?
that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, good.
The other thing though is we need to figure out a place. I'm kind of wondering if that little diner we went to when I saw you that one Thursday, Ron. I wonder if they'd be available for us in the evenings, or like a 7 to 9 o'clock meeting.
I don't think they're open that late, Pat. That's kind of like a little hole in the wall. So
What's it called, Ron?
it's not Mike's Place. What the hell is the name of it? There's one in Tioga Falls on Bailey Road, and then there's one in Stowe on Fish Creek and 59. Eddie's.
Eddie's, yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I
I
think a
don't-
church or a meeting hall somewhere would be best. This is gonna grow and you don't wanna okay, we've grown out of this meeting hall. We didn't expect 25 people to show up and it filled
Well,
up
just
the
like
parking lot.
Right. Just like P cars. I mean, we moved 3 times because we got so big. So, and what's the purpose of this, Pat? I'm sorry.
This
for
is good.
monthly meetings.
This is going to be for the monthly meetings that we do
Oh,
in
for the
person.
monthly.
The
Okay.
training, the different talks, what have you.
Well, that
I'm not-
probably doesn't have to. I mean, we should maybe come up with some ideas, but maybe that does not have to be decided tonight, only because
Yeah.
I don't think we need to decide this tonight. No.
yeah, we're not a club yet. I mean, we are, but we're not officially. So maybe we ought to come up with some ideas and go from there. I mean, I know the Stowe Library is
It's already.
very accommodating, but I don't know. I don't know how much they charge or whatever.
Yeah. The other idea I had was that little, it's a kind of a little hole in the wall, but it's got a nice meeting room, and that's a New Era over there in Akron, over there up on Mogador Road, Mogador and 18. It's a nice building. It's got a nice little meeting hall in it. The food's not that great, but it is food.
Yeah.
How many people would be at those meetings? Because there's also this cafe in Stowe on 91.
Yeah, 91. Yeah, that's
I would say probably project when we get started 20 to 30.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's no meeting room
yeah.
there. Oh.
I wonder
right.
if it would make sense to have
Well-
I mean, depending on where everybody's located, it might make sense to kind of figure out like a more centralized location.
You know what I
That's
thought?
why I was
know-
thinking, perhaps I can look into the place where we have the 4-H meetings at the fairgrounds.
If they don't do 501c3 or something, that place is going to be $600 or $700 a day.
They do. It's
But we'd have to be 501c3 first to get us there.
which we need to do first before we start having meetings.
Yeah, that's
You know,
that's one of the
cart-
biggest
cart
things we have
before
to do
the-
first.
I agree with all that.
Well,
We
you know,
need to get, there's a step of process, and we got to go through the first 5 steps before we get to the 6th.
right. Are
Well,
you guys,
go
are
I
you
ahead.
just
guys,
know that there's a lot of room. I mean, there's more than enough room for kids to run around in there. So, plus there's an attached kitchen and there's bathrooms. So that was my only thing.
If we want to
And
do, oh, go ahead, Missy. Sorry.
and I mean, there's there's a little pavilion right next to it and there's plenty of, outside space if we're doing an activity that it's like, okay, let's set up a wire and go for a night. There's plenty of room for that too. I mean, the place is huge. There's possibilities everywhere.
so let me ask this. Are you guys okay with me asking my CPA friend about looking into, or not looking into, but becoming 501c3, and what do we need to do, and getting all the paperwork ready and going from there? And I can
Whatever
be like,
you and Mike need to do, go ahead and
I-
get it done.
I'm all for it. If you know a CPA that knows this stuff better than us that have done it once or twice.
Mike, I know a CPA. I don't know if he knows about becoming a 501c3, but he's somebody that I'm helping campaign to become finance director / tax commissioner for the city of Brook Park. So,
That's for
and
me.
yeah, so I mean, if you want me to look into how much he would charge, I'm sure it would be nominal, because I babysit for free for his 2 kids. So I'm sure it'll be a next to nothing charge, but it's not free to do that. I can tell you that.
Right.
No, but if you guys are okay with me starting that ball rolling and seeing what type of paperwork we need as far as what we are and who we are and what we do, I can start that as soon as probably Friday.
As far as the,
That's fine. Sounds great to me.
something that was brought up to me as far as, I think it was Elmer that brought it up, and that's the, name registration through the state. We probably want to get something going on that too.
That's
if
gonna
that's-
get rolling too.
It's probably gonna cost $20 or $30 from what I understand about it.
Have we come up with a name? I know we're kind of like talking about 1,000 different things. So
I
have we
think
come
the
up with-
Crooked River Amateur Radio Club should be it.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're right. I apologize. I was thinking call sign. My bad. You're right. Okay.
Do we want to get a call sign for the club itself?
Yes,
Yes. Absolutely.
I think we should.
All right, I'll
CF
look into what that needs to be done.
CFARD, Pat.
Yeah, right. It's CRARC. Crooked River
about-
Amateur Radio Club,
How
HAMS.
about Pat? How about CFAFU?
Yeah, that works pretty well too. I'm not being disparaging or anything like that.
No,
Don't-
not at all. Yeah,
yeah, this is all in fun. And it's
All in-
something I think there's room for in Akron, so I think we
Yeah.
can get it done.
Would one of the lodges up at Silver Springs Park and Stowe work? Because those are big. They have kitchen.
Yeah,
They have a bathroom. They can fit 70 to 100 people.
That's not a bad idea. I know that there was some bad blood between the city of Stowe and CFARC, so maybe a new club that is not affiliated with. I don't want to say not affiliated with Cuyahoga Falls, because that would be wrong, but the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club. That would not be a bad idea to pursue.
Eric, can you look into that for us?
I could try.
see if they'd be willing to, what the,
Pat,
what the cost
Pat,
of that would be. Go ahead.
Kat, how's your affiliation with Artie? Is he still,
He just called me on the phone 5 minutes ago. I hung
Okay,
up on him.
oh, you did? Okay, because.
So yeah, it's fine, Ron.
Oh, all right. I was just gonna say, I know he's got some connection with the city of Stowe as well. So.
He doesn't, he just writes the letters to ask for the field for field day.
Oh, all right, that's it.
That's pretty much it.
All right.
I actually know John Probonic, so if worse comes
sorry,
to
there you
worse,
Yeah,
he was my deceased wife's boss for about 5 years.
Oh,
That
there you
was
go.
who I was gonna reach out to. So
If
Hey.
all right, I
Hey.
gotta put,
Hey, Pat,
yes, sir.
there's a place my brother-in-law and I go to. It's on Steele's Corners and Wag Lake Road. It's called Wings. And
Yeah.
they've got a patio that's separate from the restaurant bar area.
Yeah,
That's enclosed. I don't know if that's close to everybody or not, but
Yeah,
I could
that's not
probably-
bad.
I could probably look at that if you wanted some information. I don't even know if they charge us for it.
if you would check into it.
Okay,
I'd-
because when we go in there, they bring us our drinks right away. They know us that well. And they know what our specials are that we order all the time. So we're pretty good friends with the owners. So I can look into that and I'll get back to you.
Okay,
That would be great. That'd be great because that's almost a midway point for me. So, I mean, that's not bad at all.
I could actually walk there.
There you go.
That's good. That's good.
Walk there.
I'll see what
Well,
they
we-
say. Just
well, we'd have 4 people there. That
okay. Well, I'll check into it and get back to you.
all right. I'm looking at my nets here. Moderate the webpage, 501c3, face-to-face meetings. I think that's about all I got. One of the
Facebook
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you said, I know you said web page, but are you also looking at a Facebook page?
I've got one put up for us already.
All right, like I said, you want to make the, admin or whatever, so I can,
I'll
Take
put you on
down-
as, I'll add you as admin as soon as I can get there.
yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
that way there's no, if there's any shitty comments, I can at least hide them. I don't know what we're allowed to do as far as, because I administer the one for the city, and I know that we're not allowed to delete comments. We're only allowed to hide them. So I don't know.
I don't
how
care
that-
if you delete them.
I'm
If-
still an admin for the other group's Facebook page,
Yeah,
and I almost pay no attention to it except if there's a new request and it looks like it's a foreign scammer. It's like denied,
yeah,
delete.
Pat. I think
denied.
that's probably something we should look at. And to what he just said, it probably should be. I don't know if there's a difference between private and public or something
Yeah,
in the middle.
there still is. We can make it public and still put the we can moderate the chats.
Well,
or
I would say is have 3 questions you have to answer in order to join. That way you can't just join and then become
Yes.
and become a spammer. You know what I mean?
Send
Right.
me the 3 questions you think we should ask.
Okay.
What is your name? What is your quest? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
What is it
Oh,
called?
I was just looking for that one too.
Wow. It should be something so that way somebody can't just click to
Yeah.
join and start spamming, because then you'll get,
I don't. I'm 120% zero tolerance as far as spam. So
Pat, so I reached out to John Probonic. He got back to me. He said he'll check into how much the lodges cost at Silver Springs.
oh,
wow.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's very responsive as a mayor. He's probably the most responsive mayor.
I love that guy. He
I know.
stood
Yeah.
over my wife's coffin crying.
Oh,
He's quite a dude.
yeah.
Can I ask
Anyway.
a question that doesn't have to do with the club, but since it's Skywarn, what's up with the storms tomorrow? Because obviously I know Pat, you're in Skywarn, and
We're in a slight risk. Pretty much the whole state's in a slight risk, and it's probably going to come in the afternoon. There's probably going to be 2 rounds of it from what I've been following. One will be in the morning, but it's not going to be that bad because there's no convection. But the one in the afternoon and evening could get into severe storm level.
tornadic or just like
Thunderstorms, and there's always a possibility when you get that stuff that you can get
Hey,
a tornado out of it.
It's not a significant tornado risk. It's mostly wind and hail.
Thank you.
Pat,
Pat?
just a real quick question regarding Zoom. Is this a personal account for you, or
This is
Is
my radio station's account, so I pay for it.
all right? So do we need to have?
I don't think
separate-
so.
Okay,
Being that
all
this is all being tied into kind of together,
Okay.
I got no problem paying for it because I'm paying for it anyway.
right. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right,
So it's a donation. And I don't care.
all right. You just should probably have more than one person that can run it then.
Right now, I think I've got 5.
Okay, all right. Club related or separate related?
I think my wife's on it. I think Eric's on it.
Okay,
Missy's on it.
all right.
So if you want added to it, I'll add you to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're
Yep, that'd be-
talking
that's-
about the web pages, right?
Well, the web page and then also the Zoom, as far as
As far as the Zoom, I can give you access to Zoom.
okay, all right.
And I have my own separate account from him that I pay for as well. So
Okay.
if anything happens that we can't log into his for whatever reason, I can set up a meeting in mine.
Well, we should probably just look at having it so whatever is club related should be, on the club's page. I just throwing that out there. I don't know. I know I'm probably looking way too far ahead, but at least for, right now we will be okay. But when we become an entity in January, we probably should have our own account with our own administrators. And I know
agree.
I know that's extra money throwing out there, but it really isn't that much,
$20 a month,
Yeah.
and you
So-
get unlimited, and you can have 100 people in it.
Right. So I'm just throwing that out there that we should probably have our own.
Now, somebody else had a question. Was it you, Steve?
No, that was me, Pat.
Okay, go ahead, Elmer.
Just to let you guys know, with the gentleman, it's unrelated to the club, but about the storms tomorrow. You can look up the Storm Prediction Center, Norman, Oklahoma. Just type in the NWS Storm Prediction Center, and they do update that at 11 a.m. and I believe at 5 p.m. as well. I know it's UTC time that they use, but it's something we could do to keep an eye on the storms too, as far as being the weather spotters. Just
Right.
keep an eye on it because things do change. I've seen it go from, the marginal to slight to elevated, even more elevated risk. I've seen it go back down. So it's just something to keep in mind, and that way, we're all on board as far as, with Skywarn that, each of us have a resource page that we can look up stuff like that.
If you go to somesky.org,
Yeah.
that's got, I've got the 3-day on there. It's got a local or operating weather map. Kenny, do you still have your site?
Oh, yeah. It's out there.
Is it still K8OAD? Or
No,
what-
it's NEOWX for Northeast Ohio weather.
why don't you can you stick that in the
Oh, I
chat?
love that page.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually live stream the radar during severe weather events on YouTube though as well because I have broadcasting software for radar.
Nice.
Ooh, you're interesting.
WSV3. Y'all ever heard of it?
No.
I just posted a screenshot of the Outlook from it. He's actually doing a new version.
Is there a way you could actually post your YouTube thing in So Strong, Jason? Because I see you always posting
Yeah,
weather.
I'm actually the backup for Liam. Liam's the official weather forecaster for that page, and the admin's actually after I got my ass hammered to me for posting a severe weather thing one day. Some people don't like it, and apparently I got a lot of feedback on that. But actually, the admins like John and them contacted me, and when Liam's on vacation, I back Liam up on that.
Nice.
I'll have to look at that.
I'm trying to see if Liam's got an amateur radio license because he needs one.
He really does. We'll get him
What's-
involved.
What's
Let's get him-
Liam's name?
Let's help him do that.
Liam Burton. He's
He-
goes to Stowe High School.
He just
and,
signed up to. He wanted to post on the CFARC Facebook page, and I just approved him.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. And some of the admins from the Stowe Strong group actually contacted me because he wanted some help on it because I guess he does a regular forecast. It's his hobby. He's really weather enthusiast. And I think we should encourage it because he is a really nice kid.
Well, if he needs help getting the testing done. Those
Right.
that's another couple of things that I'd like to talk about quickly tonight anyway. There's two more things on my agenda. That one and I'd almost like to do maybe end of August, 1st September, do an introductory picnic just to see if there's any interest. And take and do what we did on Facebook and just see if we can get one of the shelters out there, maybe in the falls or over here in Stowe or somewhere. I think that'd be kind of fun just to, even if it was the 10 of us that just showed up, it'd be at least a chance to meet up and say hello and that kind of stuff. What do you guys think about that idea?
Not sure I want to be seen in public with that riprap.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that goes the opposite way, Chris.
Well, that's what I meant. I was worried about your guys' reputation.
Oh, yeah, well.
You're
Should
on a
have.
Zoom meeting, so it's already a little too late for that, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, and it's being recorded.
Right.
Oh, I'm on the witness protection program. You got to black my screen out.
Well, that's easier said than done.
We take PayPal.
I have another suggestion.
For Bitcoin.
Suggestion.
Yeah, we're fast approaching 2 hours.
Yep.
I think we should consider tabling any other further information for the evening. So we got plenty to work on to get started. And it gives us reasons to get together in a week or so or 2 weeks and say, hey, this is what's happened. This is what I found. This is what I found. And we can pick it back up. But that's just mine.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. The other thing, what was it we were talking about that I said we'd come back to in a second? We talked about the picnic or doing a picnic. It may be a little too early for that.
I was gonna say, are you thinking about VE sessions?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
I would hold off on those for a little bit.
Well, that's one of the objectives I would have for the first year of our operation. We need to get a VE team in place. I know that if we've got at least 3 VEs here. And as far as I'm concerned, that was a boon for that other club. And we had a good VE coordinator in Jim Grover. I'm sure if I called him, he would probably help us too. But I would like to put together within the first couple of months that we're in operation. I'd like to get a VE team put together and actually do some online training. Maybe do a what do you call it? Technician license class something to that effect. Those actually worked out pretty well off for CFARC.
Yeah, they did.
And I think they did pretty well, and it actually picked up some members because of it. And I would take and I'd be open. I'd like to see that happen in the first year, within the first 3 or 4 months of the year.
Hey, Pat, just real quick, Chris is right. We probably should call it a night here soon because we are at 2 hours. But
Yeah, I just saw that.
Talking about tabling our topics, we need to know what we're going to table. You said you had more things, so we should probably talk about.
That was the
Well,
only two. That was the only two things.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'd also like to put a field day thing up for next
Okay.
year, but that's really thinking.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
We ought to write a letter to Stowe.
Yeah.
See if I can get the park.
Tick Field.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't step on their toes. Be better than them.
I hate Tick Field.
I agree. Don't step on their toes.
My wife is sitting here, guys, going, "You better behave. You better behave."
Don't step
No,
on
no,
their
no.
toes. Be the professional one.
Well, if
Yeah.
you could build a good relationship with Stowe, and if their relationship is faltering,
I don't
Yeah.
like that. Well, there's better around here anyway.
Right.
Talmadge might not be bad.
Right.
Oh, Talmadge is at 1,150 feet. The only thing any higher, I'm at 1,205 here. We do it in my backyard if nothing else.
Well, I mean, think about the rec center out in Talmadge.
Yeah, that'd be a good place for it.
Or like Missy brought up, if it would be feasible, the fairground. The
Right.
fairground would probably, I mean, I don't know about the elevation, but in terms of access and being wide open, that's not a bad place
Exactly.
either.
Exactly.
Right.
I think as far as when we make that decision, we should, that needs to be, a committee needs to be put together for the first.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for the
You
field
know,
day.
for field day, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll need to put one together and actually, we're gonna have to pool resources and everything else, so.
Yeah,
That'll
that
be
doesn't
something.
need to be a chaotic 3-day adventure that has to follow 18,000 rules and put up 8 30-foot towers for 10 people to operate.
Amen.
Right.
I want it simple, Mike. I told you that. I want it simple. All
You
right, we
throw
can
up a
table.
DX commander. Yeah, we'll table.
We can, yeah, throw in a DX commit. I wonder if I could talk to him and see if I can. I'll tell him I run a bunch of his stuff on my podcast. I wonder if he'll at least lend us an antenna for field day. Might be
I
worth a
got one.
shot.
Can we close the meeting?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, guys.
You've lost their attention spans. We got to go away.
Yeah.
I really appreciate all you guys, and all I'm asking, let's make this something really different. Let's do the stuff that's amateur related and public service related. And Kenny, what do you got coming up as far as any events?
Next
got-
event is the Goodyear Half Marathon, August 12th. Then we have the Portage Lakes Triathlon that's in September, and then of course the Akron Marathon in September. So we're busy.
If you needed any help, bring it to the group here.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, let's
August
table
12th
this.
for those who's keeping score.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? Actually,
Motion to
no.
adjourn.
Okay, without any
A
further
second.
objection, without any further objection, this meeting is closed. If you want to hang
All right.
around a
All
bit,
right.
that's fine. Talk to me or whatever. But
I'm gonna have.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna go
having me,
have
guys.
dinner.
Thanks, guys.
thanks, Jason. We'll be in touch with you.
No problem.
All right, guys. Have a good
See you.
night.
Good night.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks
Good
for
night.
coming in, Steve. Everybody else.
All right. Hey, Pat, I might have missed at the beginning. Is there a frequency you guys have already that you're hanging out on, or
I've been hanging out on 6-4 quite a bit.
6-4? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to talk up there, we're good to go. It's either
Okay.
that or Jason Stroll's 443-7875.
875. Okay.
And
All right. I appreciate it.
I'm usually one or the other if I'm on the radio.
Ella, my
Okey-doke.
butt's vibrating.
That sounds like a personal problem to me.
Oh, and then
That
just in,
means her phone is going off under my rear end.
What was that, Jason?
just in case, because we don't talk a whole bunch, I am actually a transplant. I am a reverse snowbird. I come from Florida.
Oh, and you know the stuff about hurricanes.
My
mo-
uncle did the other. He moved to Florida from up here.
Yeah.
What do you think
So-
when you hit paved roads?
Ah, I
Go
hate
ahead,
the
Jeff.
winter though. Oh my God, I was here for Christmas. That sucked.
Yeah, that week before Christmas really did.
Christmas Day, 4 below. I'm crying like a baby hiding in the room with the heater on. But no, I was a 911 dispatcher for years before, and down for Orange County Fire Rescue, and
Hey, that's
did a
what
lot
I
of
do.
Oh,
emergency stuff
wow.
down there.
That's what I
Oh.
do for 33 years.
For who?
City of
What
Twinsburg.
department? Oh,
Twinsburg. Yeah, Twinsburg. I started in Stowe.
nice.
yeah.
The Stowe's got a really decent department, but I listen to public safety too. So,
Yeah.
I have
Wow,
varied hobbies around amateur radio and weather and railroads and all that other good stuff.
Where
Jason-
did you live in Florida?
Orlando. I
Really?
worked for,
Are
yeah,
you-
the fire department was Orange County Fire Rescue. So we had like 46 stations, including Disney.
Jason, are you looking to get back into dispatching?
If it was part-time, yes, but I have a full-time job. I manage a fleet of 40 trucks right now,
Oh,
as far
okay,
as
all right.
maintenance goes, or we're
Yeah,
support,
so-
we're driver support for it. And if I could do it on an occasional part-time thing, it would be kind of
Yeah.
cool to get back into it.
Yeah,
That whole
part-time.
12-hour shift thing was enough for me.
Yeah, we don't do part time anymore because it's just
What do they
it's not-
pay?
It starts at like 25 an hour.
Oh, Jesus. You know what I was making as a dispatcher down there
in Florida.
in Orange County?
I would say
And-
probably 20.
No, in 2003, when I started, it was $11.81
Oh, shit.
an hour.
Well, I can tell you, full time pays probably almost 30.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's a good backup. If this doesn't work out, then I could do 911. If I was
Yeah.
going to do it, I'd like to try to do it for Stowe, though, because I hear they're consolidating. I talked to one of the captains, the
Yeah.
investigator captains.
Yeah,
They're going to consolidate the dispatch center. So
yeah. So
that would
yeah,
might be an opportunity.
yeah. That's you're as busy as shit then, because you got Stowe's going to be part of Stowe, Talmadge, Cuyahoga Falls, and Boston Heights, and whoever all those other agencies that they dispatch for.
I think
so-
Kent's gonna be a part of it too.
I
No,
just
Kent-
hope, I
yeah,
just
Kent's
hope we don't
coming up.
screw up the sirens again.
I hope they
Yeah,
don't
that'll
encrypt.
That took me 2 years to make them fix that. And I cried and whined and everything else all over that.
Wow.
He
It
did.
got
He
to the-
threw a temper tantrum.
It got to the
Giant
point,
temper tantrum.
it got to the point where Gary Garnett wanted to shut me off.
Oh wow.
He couldn't because I was in person. Remember Walt Haney? Ronnie?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Him and I got
I got your
talking-
message,
Oh,
Elmer.
yeah, your room.
Okay.
him and I got talking on the talking one afternoon on the phone, and I told him I didn't know at that time he was a safety coordinator for Stowe. So I get him on the phone, and we're talking back and forth. I said, this crap with these sirens really, it's crying wolf.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I know. He says, I'd like to do something to fix that. I said, oh, really? I said, well, why don't you come to a coordinators meeting?
It's already dirty.
And
Then get one out of the bedroom that's already dirty.
You're not on mute.
You need to mute, miss.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're not muted, Missy.
But
No,
anyway, he tells me, yeah, he says, I'd like to talk to the group. So I said, well, why don't you go to a coordinators meeting with me? There was one coming up within 2 weeks. And I took him in there and he put up the first thing Garnett says is, we don't have any responsibility with that. That's the EMA. Okay. I wouldn't let it drop. Every time I'd go to a meeting, they still haven't fixed these damn sirens. What are you guys going to do about it? Well, then all of a sudden we have Joplin, Missouri come
Right.
get wiped pretty much off the map. And once that happened, Gary Garnett had to go down there and take safety reports and all kinds of other reports of that. And one of the questions on the survey that they did was, why didn't you listen to the sirens? And he said, and he got the biggest response came back, those sirens go off all the time. I ain't going to pay no attention to them. There's no reason to. They go off all the time. He come back from that, and he was just dreading the next meeting. I sat there, and he comes on, and he says, well, he says, there's this happening, and there's that. And oh, by the way, I was in Joplin, Missouri, and we took a survey, and the same answer came back a lot of times, and it was something that Pat had brought up to us. So what we are doing at the moment is working with the EMA and making them fix these damn sirens, and it's been fine. What, 6-7 years now? I heard one about a year ago that was going off that shouldn't have been. But from what it was to what we have, it was a quick fix. But it took me 2 years.
Wow.
As you guys can tell, I'm a go-getter. I don't fart around. If I want something, if I think something's not right, they're going to hear about it. I'll go to the top. I don't fart around. And I get really involved in the stuff I do. And it's gotten even worse since I retired.
Oh boy.
Now that I've gotten retired and I need stuff to do, and this seemed like a natural effort.
Yeah.
And we all really do have a good group of people here. If
We
we can
do.
expand this and make it go, we'll be fine.
Right.
My objective for the first is that I'll take the presidency for a year or whatever the first term ends up being. Then after that, I'll jump out of it and I'll just take a founder's role. Because that was really the idea I had to begin with.
Well, it's going to be the first 2 years, Pat.
Yeah, I'll be here the first 2 years. That's no problem.
Yeah.
The thing that I want is I'll take the founder's role. That way, if there's anything I really disagree with, I can speak up. But I want you guys to run. I want this club to run itself. That's what I had at CFART for 7 years. Or CFART, F-A-R-T. And, once we got it going and my terms rolling, it wasn't that hard to manage until COVID hit. COVID was a bitch.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest experience I've ever had as a organization guy like I am. But you guys, we're all adults here. You guys can direct this the way you want it. As long as there's no political infighting, which you're liable to whoever it is going to get showed the door. If there's political infighting, I want to hear about it and I'll take care of it.
Pat, you should probably because this should probably be something that we talk about as a group, we should probably even recognize who our charter members are.
I think so too. That would be fine.
Yeah.
I have the whole list of that.
Yeah, because that's what PCARS did, and that's kind of neat, So I'm just beginning in January at least, and recognize who the charter members are and give them membership numbers, you know what I mean? Like you're number 1, whoever's number 2, number 3, number 4, and go that far.
I just looked at something here. We are right at 51% So that'll set that up.
Wow, okay.
We have 6 people out of the 6 people out of the 10 that are ARRL members.
That's good. Okay.
We'll get that started.
Yep. All right, Pat, I'm gonna go, but you guys have a good night and let me know if you need anything else. Set me up on that Facebook thing, like you said.
I'll get you set up sometime this evening. I'll go in there once everything closes up. I really appreciate you guys coming into this and being part of it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the one thing I can't stress enough. You may not think, it may not seem like it at times, but you guys are such a great group of people. It was great to see the response I got, and I am just thrilled with it. So
I commend you for taking it by the
Good night,
horn.
everybody.
Good
I
night, everybody.
appreciate it.
All
Y'all
right,
have
good
a
night.
good evening. Thanks, Chris.
Alrighty.
Good night,
Hey,
all. Nice
Pat.
meeting you.
I have questions after everybody leaves. So
Thanks, Elmer.
You're welcome. Alrighty. Are you
You're
gonna be
gonna
on
be.
the,
You're
you
gonna
gonna be
be
on
a. Go ahead.
okay, you gonna be on the 6-4 tonight?
It's on now.
Okay, I'm gonna try it once I get something to eat. Probably about a good 45 minutes. I'll program it into the HT and try to hit it.
I should be up till about 11.
Okay.
So let me know whatever you need,
Alrighty.
and we'll go from there.
Alrighty.
And thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Alrighty. Good night.
Good night. John, you still there? All right, Eric, what's up?
So, for are we changing the time for the Tuesday night, or are we keeping it at 7?
Let me look at my notes. I don't remember what we decided. I think we decided on Friday nights, so we
Okay.
won't have to. We can move you if you want. I got no problem with that.
This week will be at 8 because of my guest, but we'll talk about it as time goes on. But when it comes to the LLC I was talking about, would you consider buying it for the station now that we have that the listener hours are pretty high?
I might. I don't want this to interfere with the 501c3 that we're trying to put together. So I'll get back to you on that. I can't really answer you right at the moment
Okay.
because I don't want, with us going for the 501c3 and all that. I don't want anything to interfere with that. As you heard, this is a lively group,
Mhm.
and most of them were my friends, and it was really nice to see their commitment.
Yeah. Have you ever considered, I know you're putting a lot of money into the station, but have you ever considered maybe turning the station into a 501c3 and then turning and having a certain charity that all the donations would go to for the station? Because that might get us more pub, or it could be a stupid idea, and I don't know.
I'd have to check into that one. As far as the 501c3 thing that goes, I don't know how they would treat an entity like that. You know, this is starting to get into business law here, and I don't really have a whole lot of idea.
Because like TV stations can go completely non for profit, so why couldn't we?
That's true.
So just something to think about. I don't know if you would go that route because you are putting a lot of money into it, so you probably want to make money, but just a suggestion.
There is several things that happened tonight that just thrill me. I was so glad that Ron and Chris came in. I've known both of those guys for like 30 years almost. And it thrills me that they left pretty much because of the CFARC crap. And once they saw that I'm going somewhere else, it brought them out of the woodwork. That Jason, man, did you see that thing he created in the chat?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was flipping awesome.
I've seen some stuff. He's created and posted some stuff in that Still Strong group too. So yeah, that was super awesome, and the fact that he got it done so quick.
Yep.
Like that took like 5-10 minutes.
Well, I'm thrilled with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go eat my dinner.
Okay, yeah, that was all I had. I just wanted to.
It's been sitting here since 7 o'clock, so it's
Okay.
probably a little chilly now by now.
I'll catch up with you probably later in the week.
All right, Eric.
I should be around Saturday if you need me. Okay, bye.
I'm not sure where we're headed with that yet. I don't know if they're going to be around or not.
Okay,
Well, we'll find out, and I'll let you know.
sounds good. Okay,
All right, thanks
Have a
for
good one.
joining us. Have a good
no
one.
problem. Okay, you too. Bye.